From having to deal with sexist questions to punching the interviewer on live television, here's celebrities flipping out at disrespectful interviewers. Everyone probably remembers the severe Megan Fox obsession in the 2000s. At just 21, she was drowning in attention for her looks, which sometimes led to some seriously cringeworthy moments. Case in point, the interview for Transformers 2. This interviewer kicks things off by basically giving Michael Bay credit for Megan's entire existence. And Megan didn't appreciate that.
Michael Bay makes you an icon.
Okay.
Are you aware?
I'm not aware.
No, come on.
Are you silly? Do you ever just look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, I really did it today?
No.
This is the day that I really topped myself.
Oh wait, it gets worse. The guy then slaps the sex icon label on Megan, using a scene where she bent over a motorcycle as his prime example. Megan dismisses it.
Who can't bend over a motorcycle? What did I do that was so special? It's not like I was doing one-handed push-ups. I just bent over a motorcycle. Yay.
No, that's not true.
Okay, well, I'm magical. What do you want me to say?
No, but really, it's not really about...
But he just can't take a hint. He doubles down on the whole sex icon thing.
Let's take on. Don't
You
mind.
are so crazy. Go ahead.
No, really. But look at the cover.
Look at it.
Yeah. I look at them.
Not content with just being inappropriate, he then asks about her plans to become a serious actress. Because apparently being gorgeous means you can't possibly have actual talent, right?
And do you
Sure.
want to become a proper actress? And how do you handle it?
What's my plan for becoming a real actress?
I think you are a real actress in this one.
And for the grand finale, this champion of journalism asks Megan for a kiss. And Megan's face says it all.
Cool. I've got one last thing.
What is it?
Please, can
Okay.
you give me a kiss? Please.
On the
in front of
mouth?
camera. No, on the cheek.
Okay, yeah, come on over.
Thank you.
Is it good lighting? Ready?
Yeah. Whoa.
But hey, at least this guy knew who he was interviewing. Because back in February 2014, this KTLA reporter, Sam Rubin, totally put his foot in his mouth during an interview with Samuel L. Jackson. The guy mixes up Jackson with Lawrence Fishburne, and well, things got awkward. Rubin tried quickly covering up his mistake, but Jackson didn't let that moment pass and called him out.
Did you get a lot of reaction to that Super Bowl commercial?
What Super Bowl commercial?
Oh, you know what? I've admit my mistake.
You're as crazy as the people on Twitter.
Right.
I'm not Lawrence Fishburne.
Then he went off on this hilarious but kinda savage rant, schooling Robin.
You know what?
We don't all look alike.
Fuck, you're
We may
exactly
be
right.
all black and famous.
You
but
are
we all don't look
guilty.
alike.
I am guilty.
You can bet the interviewer was squirming in his seat, looking like he wanted the ground to swallow him up, especially when Jackson points out how he's not very good at his job.
You're the entertainment reporter.
I know. How dumb
You're the
am I?
entertainment reporter
Right.
for this station.
Vlog.
And you don't know the difference between
I
me and
know.
Lawrence Fishburne.
But this next interview is the reason why you don't mess with comedians. Because when Bill Burr was confronted for the backlash he received for making Christian jokes on his Netflix animated series, F is for Family, things got awkward.
Bring it up, but some people thought maybe you went a little too far. You know.
As far as what?
Well, they thought that maybe you were being disrespectful to the Christian religion.
Who did?
I'm telling you, you need to Google.
Oh, good Lord.
So did you?
At first, Burr tried to brush it off, but when the interviewer kept pressing the issue, he decided to get candid about his views.
You were just having fun with some of the crucifixes and stuff like that.
I don't even know what I mean, we did maybe two jokes about that.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't you think the Catholic Church went a little too far? More so than my cartoon.
All right, listen.
A couple of jokes. I know this is a morning show. You can't bring up all those crimes.
The host seemed pretty uncomfortable, unsure whether to acknowledge or ignore Burr's frank comments. But Burr had made his point clear to the audience watching at home. In this other memorable interview moment, Bill Burr found himself correcting Jeffrey Gurian on the red carpet. Gurian mistakenly asked about Burr's role as a cop on Breaking Bad, to which Burr promptly responded.
Where did you play the cop on Breaking Bad? Breaking Bad.
Things. I wasn't a cop in Breaking Bad. I had my head shaved on my first special. You didn't do your research. You were so busy worried about this matching this, and now look at you.
Surprisingly, the host doubled down, insisting Burr had played a cop on some show, but Burr pointed out that he actually played a con man.
I played a cop. No, I didn't. I didn't. Now you're like f***ing with me. No.
With Lavelle.
I went on date night.
With
date
Lavelle
night was a
Crawford.
movie. Yeah, I wasn't a cop.
What were you there?
I was a piece of shit. I was like a con man.
Burr was astounded that Gurian didn't do his research for the interview.
Big show.
Totally.
I understand you not remember what I did on I Love the 80s. You don't remember what I did on Breaking Bad? You're insulting me. Do I need to grow the beard back?
But at least in this case, Burr didn't have to deal with an interviewer trying to make a move on him like in this shocking red carpet moment when the reporter tried to kiss Will Smith without any consent.
Oh my God.
Smith's reaction was immediate. He pushed the reporter away and followed up with a slap, leaving no doubt about how he felt about this unwanted advance. The reporter did appear embarrassed after the incident, but it raises the question, why on earth would someone think this was okay in the first place? Now here's another angle of that same incident with Will Smith's reactions.
Come on, man. What the hell is your problem, buddy? All right. Hey, sorry. You just kissed me in my mouth. This joke, hey, lucky I ain't sucker punching. No, sorry. I said that on camera.
But Jonah Hill had to sit through a live roast. While promoting War Dogs in 2016 on the French talk show Le Grand Journal, the host, Ornella Fleury, just kept the roast on fire, even talking about a sex fantasy with Leo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt.
Fantasme, en fait, ce serait qu'on se retrouve tous les deux dans une chambre d'hôtel le soir. On discute, voilà, vous me faites rire, vous me faites beaucoup rire. Et là, d'un coup, vous ramenez vos potes DiCaprio et Brad Pitt et vous partez.
As Fleury's jokes escalated, you could see Hill's demeanor shift from lighthearted banter to visible discomfort. Eventually, he responded with biting sarcasm.
Je suis content d'être venu. Je suis vraiment pas venu pour rien, d'être ridiculisé par une journaliste.
Speaking of inappropriate interview questions, Scarlett Jo faced a similar situation when interviewers became obsessed with discussing her undergarments during a press tour for the Avengers back in 2012.
Now, were you able to wear undergarments?
You're like the fifth person that's asked me that.
Because
what is going on? Since when did people start asking each other in interviews about their underwear?
No, because it is such a skin tight.
I'll leave it up to your imagination.
Oh, see?
Okay?
Is that...
Whatever you feel like I should be wearing or not wearing under that costume.
Incredibly, even after Johansson expressed her frustration at these people's bizarre fixation on her undergarments, the interviewer doubled down.
Is it inappropriate?
To ask somebody what kind of underpants they wear?
I didn't ask you what kind.
You just asked me if I was wearing any.
But not every star keeps their cool when interviewers cross the line, cause during a live interview in 2006, Mel Gibson found himself in this increasingly tense situation while promoting his film, Apocalypto. WGN-TV reporter Dean Richards began by asking about the film's themes. But the conversation took an unexpected turn when Richards brings up Gibson's past controversies.
The drinking problems, referring to what's been called the anti-Semitic rant, referring all those things. You know what I'm talking about.
Okay, so that's almost 4 years ago, dude. I mean, I've moved on. I guess you haven't.
Gibson's frustration quickly became evident as he felt the line of questioning was inappropriate given the context of the interview. Unable to contain his anger, he resorted to cursing out the interviewer.
Let's move on, dude. Come on.
Edge of Darkness opens today. It's good to see you back in the saddle and doing what you do best. Thanks a lot for joining us, Mel. Take care.
Bye-bye. Asshole.
However, not all stars resort to such heated responses when faced with challenging situations during interviews. In fact, Morgan Freeman gave a masterclass in handling controversial questions when he was asked about Black History Month.
Black History Month you find ridiculous. Why? You're going to relegate my history to a month? Oh, come on. What do you do with yours? Which month is White History Month? No, come on.
But he doesn't stop there. Freeman goes on to share his thoughts on fighting racism. His take? We need to stop harping on about racial differences so much.
How are we going to get rid of racism until... Stop talking about it. I'm going to stop calling you a white man. Yeah. And I'm going to ask you to stop calling me a black man. I know you as Mike Wallace. You know me as Morgan Freeman.
Now, Freeman's comments gave the reporter no chance to stir up some controversy, just like how Mila Kunis was quick to shut down a Russian reporter when they tried to throw shade at her co-star Justin Timberlake. During this 2011 press conference in Moscow for their film Friends with Benefits, a Russian reporter seemed more interested in stirring up controversy than discussing the film. Surprisingly, the reporter doubles down on her stance, and Kunis is clearly frustrated. Meanwhile, Timberlake, getting a translation through an earpiece, was left completely dumbfounded by the heated exchange until it was finally relayed to him.
It's late. This is my bodyguard.
And speaking of inappropriate questions, during the 2015 Grammy Awards, Taylor Swift found herself subjected to some seriously inappropriate behavior from a reporter.
Gets lighter to the bottom and then I have purple shoes on. Because why not?
I just wanted to show the legs, because as I was telling you ahead of time, you're going to walk home with more than maybe just a trophy tonight. I think lots of men.
Swift, understandably, wasn't having any of it. She firmly shut down the reporter's inappropriate insinuation.
I'm not gonna walk home with any men tonight. I'm gonna go hang out with my friends, and then I go home to the cats.
No men allowed.
Men get me in trouble. I don't.
And famous actor Matt Damon also found himself in this heated exchange back in July 30th, 2011, during the Save Our Schools rally. Basically, this reporter made a questionable comparison between teachers and actors.
In acting, there isn't job security, right? There's an incentive to work hard and be a better actor because you want to have a job. So why isn't it like that for teachers?
You think job insecurity is what makes me work hard?
Oh, he's visibly irritated by that comparison and doesn't hold back.
It's like saying a teacher is going to get lazy when they have tenure. A teacher wants to teach. I mean, why else would you take a shitty salary and really long hours and do that job unless you really love to do it?
Damon ain't done. He pushes back further, challenging the reporter's claims.
10% that are bad, though? 10% of teachers are bad.
Where'd you get that number?
I don't know. 10% of people in any profession maybe should think of something else.
Well, okay, but I mean, maybe you're a cameraman. I don't know.
So while Damon's response was fiery yet controlled, we gotta go back to 2001 where WWE boss Vince McMahon thought he'd have a chill chat with Bob Costas on the Record. Turns out things got pretty heated when Costa started grilling McMahon about the XFL's not-so-hot performance.
For a second, pal. Shut your mouth and let me answer the question, all right? I'll be happy to answer. You got a situation that you don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, but Bobby wasn't done. He goes after McMahon about how WWE treats its female wrestlers, bringing up some more eyebrow-raising stuff they'd done.
This is the Bob Costas Interrupt program, right?
It's a characterization I think few would share, but it might work for you in this instance.
It worked for me. I mean, take a look at the tape when you play it back. Right. How many times did Bob Costas interrupt Vince McMahon before he let him answer the question?
Just to try to keep you on point. Go ahead.
Sure.
Now, if you thought that was intense, wait till you hear about the time Jim Everett, former NFL quarterback, was repeatedly mocked by show host Jim Rome. Back in April 6th, 1994, Jim starred on the show, but the host for some reason kept calling him Chris Evert for years, actually comparing him to a female tennis player just to mock his toughness.
Well, let me tell you a little secret that, you know, we're sitting here right now, and if you guys want to take a station break, you can. But if you call me Chris Everett to my face one more time,
I already did it twice.
You call one more time, we better take a station break.
But Rome, apparently thinking he was being clever, used the nickname again. So Everett had enough and decided to settle things the old-fashioned way, by getting physical.
That you probably won't say it again.
I bet I do.
Okay.
Chris?
And if we're talking about celebs losing their cool, we have Quentin Tarantino finding himself in the hot seat during an interview with Jan Wall, who just kept pressing him about the violence in his films, especially Kill Bill.
Why the need for so much gruesome, graphic violence? Why not let us imagine
Because it's so much fun, Jan. Get it?
Jan seemed taken aback, but doubled down on her concerns. And Tarantino would insist that there's a big difference between movie violence and real life.
You walk down the street and get attacked by some kids who've just seen your movie.
But you saw, but see, Jan, you're all messed up because you're talking about real life.
Oh,
and I'm
I see.
talking
And
about
kids
the
at 12,
movies. You got to
kids
get
at
it
12.
straight. Now, if you want to talk about the movies, we'll talk about the movies.
Okay, and
if you want
kids
to
at
talk about
12
real life,
can
we'll
tell
talk
the
about real
difference.
life.
When Jan brings up how impressionable kids might not see that difference, Tarantino still continues to defend his artistic choices.
Kids at 12 can tell the difference. You tell their parents that, Quentin.
Hey,
And it was great to talk
I
to
saw
you,
movies when I was a kid, all right? I saw all the movies that I'm basing
Yes,
my
and look
movies
how
on
wonderful
are
you
movies I
turned
saw
out.
as a kid, and yes, kids go to a movie theater, they can tell the difference. Maybe you couldn't when you were a kid, but I could.
The interviewers wrapped up with Jan's pointed tone, but Tarantino managed to get the last word in.
The hook, you're doing well, obviously. You're laughing all the way to the bank, and I know some
I'm
parents
having
would
a
love
great
to talk to
time
you.
making a terrific movie that people are having fun seeing. Maybe not you, but you know what, Jan? I don't think I made it for you.
Now, this wasn't Tarantino's only rodeo defending his work. In this Channel 4 interview, he was asked about movies potentially causing real-world violence.
Between enjoying movie violence and enjoying real violence.
I'm going to tell you why I'm so sure. Don't ask me a question like that. I'm not biting. I refuse your question.
The reporter kept pushing, but Tarantino stood his ground.
But you see, Jamie Foxx has said, we can't turn our back and say that violence in films
Well, then
or
you should
anything
talk
that
to
we
Jamie
do
Foxx.
doesn't have a
Then
sort
you
of
should talk to
influence.
Jamie Foxx about that. And I think he's actually here, so you can.
I'd love to, but fleshed it out. That's the only reason.
It's not my job to flesh it out.
No, it's my job to try and ask you to.
And
that's
I'm
all,
shutting your butt down.
And that's entirely your. That's entirely
this
your.
This is a
your
commercial
right.
from my movie.
Oh, this interviewer just wouldn't quit. They kept at it until Tarantino finally lost it.
Over and over again because you want me to. For you and your show and your ratings.
Okay, well, no, it's not about our ratings.
No, it is. It is about you want me to say it for you.
And now, speaking of frustrating interviews, we have a 2012 promo event where Rihanna had to deal with this reporter who thought it was cool to ask about her relationship with Ashton Kutcher.
Things are clearly going brilliantly in your career. I just wondered if you are as happy in your private life, and will we be seeing a certain Mr. Ashton Kutcher perhaps making a trip over here?
Wow, how disappointing was that question?
Should we move on to another? In another interview, when the conversation started drifting into Rihanna's personal life again, she shut it down real quick. No beating around the bush there.
And what are you looking for in the next man?
Pardon?
What are you looking for in a man now to wear this cologne?
I'm not looking for a man. Let's start there.
You see, these moments really show how celebrities often have to fend off nosy questions about their private lives. It's like some reporters forget they're there to talk about work, not gossip. Even famous people have a right to keep some things to themselves, you know?